WSAY reminds you, starting as it says here, starting February 71st. Probably it'll be before that. The Monroe County Planning Board will host a series of 5 public informational meetings about the proposed 1982-87 Capital Improvement Program. For more information, contact Al Frazier at 428-5469. Maybe you can find out the start date from Al, too, at 428-5469. I would assume maybe that's February 17th, huh? Cliff Richard, a little bit in love at the WSAY. What a great comeback for a guy who deserves it, too. Donnie McClain and Crying, the old Roy Orbison idea, updated 1981 style. It's 4 in front of noon. WSAY and Chuck Ingersoll. Noonside hour today, hot Hollywood gossip on Ryan O'Neal, Andy Williams, and Milton Berle. Something from the Jack and George Book of Humus. And we'll tell you what you can get in New York City for Valentine's Day if you have $300. No, not that.
It was late in December night.
1979 memories from Al Stewart and Time Passages. It's 12 o'clock noon at your mutual station, the new WSAY Rochester. That Lucky Duck and Van Morrison, Tale of the Brown-Eyed Girl. 1370 radio on Noonside Saturday. WSAY and Chuck Ingersoll. 12 minutes after 12, we're getting ready for Mutual Sports shortly. And we start off, as usual, with something from the Jack and George Book of Humor. Mr. Haefner pointed out to me this morning, kids are with it today. When I was a kid, George said, my parents told me about the birds and the bees. And now little boys want to know about Dolly Parton and Raquel Welch. I'm not worried about what kids know today. Just worried about how they found out.
Slow down, you move too fast, kicking down cobbles.
That was one that Simon and Garfunkel, actually Paul Simon, wrote up back around 1966. Done by Harper's Bazaar there in the 59th Street Bridge song. It's time to check in with Mutual Sports and find out what's new. That's Air Supply. And Valentine's idea of every woman in the world to me. 23 after 12. Chuck Ingersoll on a Saturday WSAY Noonside edition. Tonight at 7, Mike Harvey, the original Hall of Fame. He focuses on the 60s British invasion, tributes to Chuck Berry, Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper. 3 hours of great oldies tonight at 7.
Morning has...
And that's Cat Stevens, and Morning is Broken. WACY's Hot Hollywood Gossip Saturday edition. Financial film disasters like Heaven's Gate are no longer a mystery to the folks at Columbia University, where Warner Brothers is on campus shooting scenes for the movie So Fine with Ryan O'Neal. It seems the film crew took an empty room at Columbia and reconstructed from scratch an office that was just like most offices on campus. No one knows why they didn't use one of the offices here, said a professor. It was like taking everybody to Honolulu to recreate Akron, Ohio. Now I see why movies cost so much these days. And that's why it's $8 for 2 at the box office, too. Singer Andy Williams asked for an armed guard to escort him to his car at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas the other night. It was 2 a.m., and Andy wasn't going to take any chance of getting mugged. And finally, in a tribute to 85-year-old George Burns from that youngster, Uncle Milty, Milton Berle, who says, quote, George still comes up with some of the funniest lines. The funniest lines that I borrow from my act, that is. All mine. Out of my dreams and into my car with Ringo Starr from 1973. Ex-Beatle, 27 in front of 1. Chuck Ingersoll on a Saturday WSAY Noonside. Tell you what you can get in New York City for $300, a special Valentine gift. And we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. This is the new one from Barbara Mandrell. New from Barbara Mandrell. A little bit different thing for her, too. Called Sometime, Somewhere, and Somehow. It's 24 before 1. Mary Manilow, WSAY.
This one'll never
Loving it with Eddie Rabbit. It's WSAY 1242, a Noonside Valentine's Day edition. Chuck Ingersoll and WSAY. Hey, if you live in New York City, around the area, or if you want to get down there quick and you've got $300, you know what you can get? A firm called Manhattan Skydivers uses 5 old airplanes flying in formation, and they puff out dots of smoke for what's called sky typing. It's quicker, it's easier, it's cheaper than traditional skywriting. And the head of the sky typing company says saying I love you in a message 5 miles long and 1,000 feet wide, quote, shows either that you really, really love the person or that you're simply out of your mind. Well, that's what the Valentine spirit's all about, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's Patty Weaver and the old chestnut just in time. 12:45 at SAY and 35 degrees. Still a bit of sunshine out there. Sunshine today and Sunday. Fair skies overnight. High about 35 today, 20-25 overnight. And tomorrow, 40, maybe even more. Currently 35. And WSAY reminds you, registration for spring classes at the Rochester Museum and Science Center's Gannett School of Man is now open. If you'd like a complete course catalog, just give them a call at 473-7210, 473-7210 for the complete and free catalog for the Rochester Museum and Science Center Gannett School of Science and Man. And those are the chiffons from 1963. And one fine day, and Danny Fogelberg in there, too. It's 8 in front of 1 at SAY. Chuck Ingersoll keeping you company on this Saturday afternoon. Almost a hometown boy, Bat McGrath and The Spy from the album of the same name from 1978, down there in Naples, New York. We have 35 Rochester degrees. Look for sunshine today and Sunday. Fair tonight, high about 35 today, up to about 40 degrees tomorrow. Overnight low of 20. We're the new 1370 WSAY Rochester. It's 1 o'clock.
Mama can't buy your love.
Mama can't buy your love. That's Elton from 1979. WSAY. It's 9 minutes after 1 with Chuck Ingersoll. And from the Ingersoll Believe It or Else file, when she wants to leave the U.S. of A., all Aura Mosher of BB Plain, Vermont, has to do is turn over in her sleep. The U.S.-Canadian border passes right down the middle of her house, and she has it set up so it's right down the middle of her bed, too. And each time she walks out her front door, well, she turns left, she has to check in at the Canadian Customs Station. And I kid you not about that. Pretty wild stuff, huh? I guess she's basically what you'd call your borderline case. Here's Stephen Bishop. Stephen Bishop, send a little love my way. You know, for the best in nationwide coast-to-coast sports talk, join WSAY every night of the week for the Enterprise Sports Network with Ira Melman. He keeps the controversy hopping, and he knows his sports stuff, too. Enterprise Network Sports Talk, 10 to midnight every night, right here at the new WSAY. That's got to be one of the happiest sounding songs of all time. One of the biggest selling singles, too. 1956, and Guy Mitchell singing the blues. 15 after 1 o'clock, Chuck Ingersoll on SAY on a Saturday, Valentine's Day. Got a great day for it, too. Sunshine most of the day today and tomorrow. Fair skies overnight, high about 35 today. Low 20-25 overnight, and a high Sunday of around 40, maybe even warmer. And currently 35. WSAY reminds you the Alternative Family Care Program needs families in Monroe County to share their homes with an elderly family. If you'd like more information about how you can help out, call Joyce Clifford at 338-4572. 338-4572. 1975 memories from Paul Anka and the Polaroid, or the Kodak song. That's a naughty word in this town. And it's about 1:21 at SAY with Chuck Ingersoll. Good Valentine's Day to you. We've got 35 sunshiny Rochester degrees. A good-looking day out there.
Dodgetown, the